Hello everyone. Today we will discuss on how to run the new large language models locally. So many of the new models which are getting released are of around 2 billion parameters and we could run them on our machines. Today we are going to use a Hugging Face library called Transformers to run ours locally. So Transformers is a extensive library. It supports lot of models and lot of operations. However, for our example on getting started, we are going to try to run the two models, Gemma as well as Microsoft Phi-2. So I have uploaded the code into GitHub so that you could also give it a try. The prerequisites are Python 3.6 as well as the Transformers library. So when you install the Transformers library, then you can run any of the models. So what it basically does, it downloads the model based on your code base. So it will create a local cache directory where it saves all the models. One thing to note is some of those models like Gemma that needs you to authenticate and approve for their terms and conditions. So for that you will have to even log in. Okay, so that you could do using the Hugging Face CLI, and you have to go through the Hugging Face site, and here in your settings, where is the settings? Oh, here I guess. Yeah, settings and access token to get your token, right? So let's see our code base first. So it is so again, Hugging Face Transformers is an abstraction on how to run your models locally, and it has made it very easy. So the first way we are going to try is we are using two models. One is a Neo GPT, which I believe is launched by Hugging Face itself, and Microsoft Pi 2, right? So the first thing is a method called pipeline, which can be used to compress or to group your input. So there are different pipelines we can use. Here we are using the text generation pipeline, and to that we are passing our question, and we are iterating to these two models and seeing how the output is. So I have already run this locally, and so this is basically how you run it. Python llm.py. So first the Neo GPT. So the question, if you remember, my name is Lewis and I like to. So this is the answer. My name is Lewis and I like to take photos. And it even printed some date. And I recently got to take a photo of my husband when he was a boy. I don't know how that is true, but that's how it works, right? It is able to print um, um, or continue writing based on your prompt. The same thing happens with Microsoft Pi too. My name is Lewis and I like to play soccer. I have a dog named Sport and he is. So if you give a maximum length or a bigger maximum length, it can even write longer sentences. The second example which I wanted to show was Gemma, but it's an instrumentation tuned model. So what you could do is similar to ChatGPT. You can ask it questions, right? How does the brain work? And rather than just continuing writing text, it's going to answer like a chatbot. So for our this question, so that's what I wrote here. Python Gemma 2 bit, and this is how the question is formed. Okay, the user is asking this, and now model, it's your turn to reply. So what it says, sure, here's a simplified explanation on how the brain works, and it goes into detail on how that is done. So these are the two examples of running large language models locally, and especially using Hugging Face, it makes it very, very easy. And to get more details on what these models are, Hugging Faces have their own separate sites and even the inference API to play around, right? Um, you can see also how to run it locally. They show us how to run it with different CPU configurations, like on a single CPU, that's how we are running. But if you have GPUs, how do you run it with CUDA and other stuffs? I highly recommend you give it a try, and these pre-trained models can even be fine-tuned for our specific use cases. So this would be a good starting point to understand more on LLMs. Thank you.